So exciting to
Yeah,
see
it's
you.
crazy for sure. Well, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm
You bet.
so excited.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to getting in to your life as a podcast host, a writer, and a coach. And before we do that, I know we're all getting a little tired of talking about COVID and the pandemic, but it was a big moment for all of us. So
Yeah.
how did you make it through that time period, and how has it changed the way that you do things now?
Oh, thank you for asking. No one asked me before, so I can tell you I went very well through that period because I used to have an accounting company for the last 16 years. And accountants are always asked or or demanded. There's always the high demand, and we can also work in a cave. So I called it the cave. I constructed a house 10 years ago with my office in the cave, so to say, and I had 6 employees. Um, so this was my setting. So we did very well. What changed the pandemic was me. I started speaking because I was not speaking before. I was hiding all day. I was avoiding people. I even so it was already during COVID in 2020 when I attended a Zoom meeting against social phobia. And it was offered by a great university so it was research. And I said, yes, I want to do this. And I was so afraid, we had to talk. First assignment was to talk for 1 minute, for 1 minute about a postcard we had selected in our hands. So the others were not, they couldn't see the postcard I chose. And I had to describe this postcard in 1 minute. And I was so nervous. And this changed completely. So I used the pandemic to finish my studies in psychology. By the way, I had no time for that. And then, then I did this. I started when I was 35, and I became a coach and consultant. It was in 3 years ago, November 2021. I became a consultant for Bob Proctor's Thinking and Results, and it has to do also with speaking, and especially also speaking in English. So English is not my mother language. It is not my first foreign language. It is my second foreign language. I started at the age of 13, and I think maybe you don't want to know all this, but I made it my first language because I love it so much, and I teach in English, and I traveled a lot the last 2 years. Yes, after the pandemic, it changed. It
Yeah,
changed my personality.
it's great. I appreciate the backstory, and your English is wonderful. So I'm always appreciative because it's like the rest of the world has to learn different languages. I mean, we have, typically it's French or Spanish, but you only do a couple years of that, and then that's it. So, um, but I have some good friends actually that live in Germany. He's a filmmaker, and you know, he's picked up the language quite well. My wife actually knows German pretty well because she has ancestors from there. Um, so let me ask you this to get an exact handle on what you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids for career day. And one of the kids is curious. It's a third grader. And he's like, what do you do for a living? How do you answer them?
Yeah, this no one did this before. I love this exercise, and I know you do fun stuff in the US. We are in Germany. We are so serious, and it's boring.
Yeah.
So okay, how would I describe this? What I do now for a living? The one-liner would be, I do what I love. And this can be every day, it can be something different.
Yeah.
So the baseline or the thing I have my passion are the podcasts, and I'm about to, so I managed to get paid for that. It was 1 month ago or two it started, and I can can work on that, of course, to increase. And what I do, yes, coaching, consulting, writing, and podcasting.
So what did you want to be when you were in the third grade? When you were young, what was your dream?
You have to tell me what is third grade. Is it like 8 years or 10,
Probably about 10 or 11 years old.
10, 11? So at that age, I wanted to become a police officer.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, police officer, and then I think it turned a little bit into when I watched all the American TV shows like about agents like FBI or CIA or something. It was very impressive. And then when I was 15, so it is like a combination. I wanted to have my own radio show. Like, I don't know if you remember this show called Nighthawk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nighthawk. It was really great. It was someone in the radio helping people, and then came the film Silence of the Lambs. I was
Yeah.
15, and I wanted to become a psychologist because just to know how the mind works.
Yeah.
And I turned my dreams into reality. I accomplished this all. So who knows? One day I will be a FBI agent
Yeah.
and doing radio shows or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
never say never for sure. So let me ask you this. Who's been kind of your inspiration or a hero for you in your life?
In general or in
Yeah.
which
I
period
guess
of
just in general, someone that's helped you in your career and helped you go after your dreams.
hmm. So the person who brought me to Bob Proctor to become a coach and consultant, it was Troy R. Chadwick. I learned English with his daily study group. So and I found him on TikTok. So during the pandemic, my kids told me, I have two kids, by the way, they are 15 and 18 years old. So they told me I have to join TikTok. It's so exciting. And then I joined TikTok and I was shocked about, during the pandemic, everyone was at home and they were filming what they were doing, like eating, hairdressing. And I thought, this is not something you show on camera, or I don't want to see this. But I was then addicted to TikTok, and there was this guy talking about mindset and change your life, do what you love, something like that. And this was the person who brought me to Bob Proctor finally, and to my decision to become a coach and consultant.
So if you could meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find inspirational, who would you love to meet and talk to?
I always like to meet Troy R. Chadwick, but I did. So my goal was, who is this guy I met on TikTok? Is he real? In real life, is he the same as on behind the screen, and or in front of the screen, however you want to put it. And my first flight was to Los Angeles, and I met him in person, and we met several times over the last 2 years at several events, of course, where we can learn and have training together. So it was a friendship in development, or a friendship developed with that, and I'm forever grateful. Yeah.
So what's the motivation for you every day to wake up and to do the work that you do? You're helping people, you're going after your dreams. You obviously want to grow as a person. What is that every day that gets you up to do all this work?
It is the excitement of, it was so crazy when I started the podcast. Okay, first of all, you invite all of your friends, right? And then it came like there were people I never met before, like you, for example. And it is so, we never spoke before, and
Yeah.
that this is possible. So with all the evil in the world, let's say, to create a space of 15 to 20 minutes of full of peace, or like connection with a person you never saw before, and
Yeah.
and to prove that it is possible, that peace starts with you, with a decision. This is what excites me every day.
You're totally right. And that's the beauty is that I think sometimes, especially in America, we have this idea that everybody's so divided and different. And it's really not true. I think there's so much more about not only America, but the world that's so much alike. And I think we prove it in podcasting because it's such a great space to explore ideas, to get to know each other. It's just, you're totally right. It's a great place.
And it doesn't matter what you are talking about. It doesn't matter because you always find a connection or a topic. You can change the topic, or you can just ask the person. In the beginning, the first 300 episodes, I had the same 5 questions for every guest because I was nervous, but I wanted to know the answer. And the answers were always different. So my questions were what inspires you, who inspires you? And then I got the answers and I was inspired for myself.
Yeah. So what has been one of the best speeches that you've ever seen in your life? You obviously are into it, and but what is it? Have you, has there been a speech that you saw that was amazing?
I don't want to get politically because
Right.
in school we study speeches of famous. Yeah, I can tell you. I think the what Martin Luther
Yeah.
King
Yeah.
about I have a dream.
Uh-huh.
I still have a dream, and it has to do with the question of skin colors,
Yeah.
right? And for the rights for the people, like yeah, that we are all equal, and I think his dream became true,
Yeah.
and every day, and I'm also yeah, I'm very interested in stop that, like doing the opposite, being the change that I want to see in the world that comes from Gandhi. We know this,
Yep.
Okay, I would say, and this is the first thing that came into my mind. So this, I have a dream. I still have a dream. Very impressive
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
And it was a remarkable place. I know. And I know, by the way, one day I will go there
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it took place. Wow.
Absolutely. So when did you know that coaching was the thing that you should be doing? Was there a specific client? Was there a time period in your life? What convinced you that that's the way to go?
I think the idea to have someone you can ask all of your questions, even if you don't get a reply, because this is also an answer. This is the person responding to you. That means it reflects back the question to you, and you find the answer within yourself, because a coach can never teach you something that you didn't know in the first place, or already what you already knew. And the most how can I tell this, the most exciting thing I did last year was I jumped into a book project, and I had no clue how to do this, but I was asked to contribute a chapter, and I thought, yeah, I can write 2,000 words in English. And then it was so challenging. And why am I telling you this? Because it had to do with, you had to choose a goddess or a god. It comes with oracle cards, and I thought about, yeah, I want to do Hera, the from the Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And then it turned out the name they gave me, or it came to me, was goddess of reflection. And this is exactly what a coach do. He or she reflects back the question, and you find the answer within yourself. And this is so beautiful.
Yeah. So of everything that you've done and accomplished in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Once again.
So what are you the proudest of all the accomplishments and all of the things that you've done, the dreams that have come true? What are you the proudest of?
Oh, I have to. The first thing came into my mind are my kids,
Yeah.
because for a long time, I did not recognize or appreciate it, my role, because I did everything at once. So I had this accounting company, 16 years, and I told you my kids are 15 and 18. So it was all at once, the company, the employees. We constructed a house. This was challenging too, because you have to observe how they are working, or if they are working. So, and I think my kids did a great job. They did the best they could, and I was not satisfied. So I was always like, so I was the complete opposite. I was in the old world, in the matrix, and then now it opens up with my own coaching that I accepted to be coached as well and to ask for help. And now I see because I see they are grown up all almost, and I don't have much work with them. They come to me for advice, and also the older one. Finished school this year. All at once, he finished school. He learns a profession now, and he manages everything for himself. So I love that.
Yeah, that's great. So if anyone wants to hire you, tune into your podcast, any of the good business in your world, where do they go?
They go to inspiredchoice.today. This is my homepage, and the best thing, and they find the podcast as well. I just moved to a new hosting platform, and I'm so proud. It's a lot of work, but it's so much better. And you can find me on LinkedIn, please. I love that. You can shoot a message, and then you can have a free consultation for 20 minutes. I offer this as well. Yes.
Excellent. That's great. It's great to meet you. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck with everything. Take care.
Take care.